Hello, this is Kayhan. Welcome to episode 27 of my life journey. In the previous episode, I talked about discipline and willpower. And if you remember, I discussed that willpower is not something fixed at all, and it's something trainable, it's something that can be improved over time. And I also shared some of the new instructions my life coach gave me on the practice of silence of mind and how to handle pressure and stress and how to deal with our brain and mind noises when our brain gets noisy and kind of flooded with thoughts. And these were more about the mental side of discipline and willpower. But in today's episode, I want to continue from where I left off and take it to more practical things that we can apply in life. Our routine, our sleep, and various small things that we can do every single day that may look not important at all, but for me, it turned out that they're actually extremely important after I got them from my life coach, SAR, and I implemented it, and I saw the effects, the influences in my life. I totally understood that no, those small things are the most important things that slowly gives me more sense of control and like discipline and that willpower over myself. So let's get into it. One of the things that SAR asked me was about my sleep schedule. And I immediately said that my sleep schedule is not something fixed at all. And it varies pretty much like every day. It depends on my responsibilities, my tasks, my the phase of life that I'm in. Sometimes it's kind of early, sometimes it gets late, sometimes it gets too late. Up to the extent that some nights I go to bed like at 3, 4 a.m. Maybe the day after there's some presentation or like something to be delivered, like an assignment or due date or task or something. So there's no order in to my sleep, and he didn't like that, and he said that's not in our favor at all, and it's not going to benefit us in the long run in any way. Maybe you get something out of it in short run, but that's going to uh, show its consequences soon. And because he told me that there is a certain connection, relation, or correlation between the amount of deep sleep that we get each night with our performance and discipline and our amount of willpower. That control that we have over ourselves, it really relates to the amount of deep sleep, as he um, explained. It was kind of weird at first when I heard it, and I was like, mm, I didn't think about it that way at all. And yeah, then he explained more that people want to be disciplined, sharp, laser focused, and have patience, all these good qualities, and they don't give themselves a good amount of brain recovery at night, uh, at those right times that our brain needs it, because there are some like cycles going on in our body, and there are certain times of the day that there are hormonal cycles and lots of nuances there that come to play. So I don't want to get into that, but it's what he told me was like this is extremely important, and I couldn't like even accept it at at the first time. But he said like go search it, go read some studies, go read internet, and see what you can find. And I did so, and I just looked at various studies that have been done on this topic, and yeah, there are really like good data that even supports this. I don't know if you have heard about the millionaire who is trying to optimize his lifespan But he actually himself studied this important thing and measured his sleep time and the amount of deep sleep he had and how he felt and how he performed in the next day. So let's go hear from this person and see what he says.
Can you maybe elaborate on the sleep thing? Why is sleep so important, and why, presumably, if like, what does good sleep mean
Mhm.
to you?
I think sleep is a contender for being the most powerful health intervention in existence. It's a contender. I mean, it's magical what it does if you're well rested and what your body can do. And I mean, for example, I know when I eat close to my bedtime, and I've done a systematic study for years, looking at like 15-minute increments on time of day on where I eat my last meal. My willpower is directly correlated to the amount of deep sleep I get. So my ability to not binge eat at night when Rascal Brian's out and about is based upon how much deep sleep I got the night before.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
There's a lot to that. Yeah.
I've seen it manifest itself. And so I think the way I summarize this is, in society, we've had this myth of, we tell stories, for example, of entrepreneurship, where this person was so amazing, they stayed at the office for 3 days and slept under their desk.
Yeah.
And we say, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And now I think we're headed towards a state where we'd say that's primitive and really not a good idea on every level. And so the new mythology is going to be the exact opposite.
He told me that for somebody like me, whose mind is constantly dealing with hard concepts, mathematics, algorithms, hard decisions that I have to make, science, all these pressures that I'm going through in my life, most probably the best time to sleep is around 9 to 10 p.m. And the best time to wake up is around 5 to 6 a.m. And clearly, he also insisted on this part that you're not going to get there in one night. And this is something to be developed over weeks, or days, or at some cases, like extreme cases, maybe months, because bodies are different from one person to another. But anyway, uh, what I got from this was that uh, this is something that is going to be done step by step, maybe like 15 minutes by 15 minutes. I can go to bed earlier and I can wake up earlier, so slowly my body adapts to this new kind of plan, new kind of schedule, and kind of ordered thing. So this is very important for me because most of the times when people want to bring about a change in their lives, they just want to go from one extreme to the other. And at first I wanted to just do that. I was like, okay, from tomorrow I'm going to try to sleep at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. If this is this much important now, science is backing it, and like I'm convinced, okay, I'm gonna sleep at 9 p.m. And no, it's not going to work like that, because that kind of like going from extreme to extreme is not going to last very long. And that sounds maybe like a quick fix, but if we want to uh, teach our body, train our body to really go on that new routine, new kind of time frame, because our bodies are kind of smart. My life coach, even told me that at some point you should not use any alarm to wake up. Your body is able to wake up on its own. It has that those like it's capable enough to understand when it has to wake up and sleep. When you really go to that like type of uh, discipline that you're going to reach. And he said so many successful people, uh, they don't use any alarms. They just wake up at the right time and they go to bed at the right time because they don't need any alarm. They just It's just automatic to them. They did this a lot, that it's part of their, uh, body time frame. Another thing he talked to me about was making my bed after I wake up every single day, without with no exception. And he told me that this may sound very small and unimportant, but it's extremely important. He gave it a lot of, weight, and up to the point that I was surprised. Like, why are you insisting on this so much? And he asked me if I make my bed or not, and I honestly answered sometimes, not always, uh, sometimes not at all. It depends on how much I'm in rush, or my mood, and like that day maybe I have some worries. I have to get to work, or like my lessons very fast. Uh, I mean, if that's the case, I don't. But if it's I'm on a weekend and like I'm relaxed and have no worries, well, yeah, I make my bed. Uh, I'm more relaxed. And he said this is exactly where you are going wrong, and you should totally change the way you approach your day. So from today, you're going to wake up and make your bed with extreme uh, details, let's say. Like, he said, you should really make your bed good. And he said, like, imagine when you book a hotel room and when you enter it, how it looks. It looks nice, right? It's ordered and cleaned so that you enter and like really enjoy the scene. Like you say, wow, okay, this is a comfortable place. He said, like, you have to do the same thing with your own bed. And hopefully, over time, we're going to expand this to every object in your room. Like, you should make things tidy and clear, and you should pay attention to the placing of objects. Things shouldn't be just there for themselves. And then he explained why we do this, because I resisted a bit and I said, yeah, I read this in books. I mean, so many books say you should make your bed, or this is like a moral thing, make your bed, be tidy, don't be messy. And he said, like, our purpose for this is not at all like a moral thing. We're not doing things here because they're like only good or moral to do, or we have to. And he said, once you know the reason behind these actions, then they actually matter. Because we don't have really no time to waste on things like that. If we have time, we prefer to do and spend it on our important, essential tasks and work, our success, our goals. But why are we paying attention to this? This is the thing. When we approach our day like this, we are sending a signal to our unconscious that I'm starting the day with discipline, with patience, with intention, and with control. I have control over this. And I'm going to approach every other single thing throughout the day like this, with intention, with presence, with, control over it. So, wow, that was powerful when I looked at it that way. I really liked it. And I tried it. And it's like that. I mean, it happened. It turned out that way. So I took this as a very important lesson. I just started with making my bed, but now I'm more caring about like the overall order of my room. And this kind of expands to my life and my mind and my thoughts, because here our purpose is to just bring order to some chaos. So when it started mentally in our inside, then it has to take shape in our outside world as well. This is the kind of message that Sar tried to transfer or instruct me. So, in short, our purpose is to, because he told me that he doesn't want me to do anything like half done. He said starting your morning careless can take that carelessness to the other parts of your day too. So when you start it carefully, you will most probably tend to do other things more careful as well. So yeah, I did this, and I'm going to just improve myself, and uh, not obsessively, but for the reasons I said, just keep doing this every single day. These were examples that show how willpower could be trained, could be strengthened over time. And these things are not going to be lovely or interesting or exciting or even comfortable sometimes to do at all, but they're going to be good for us. They're going to benefit us, definitely in long run. Maybe not in short run, but they slowly appear in our personality when we, after like weeks and months, we see ourselves that we have changed. That's only when we understand, yeah, our willpower has expanded, has increased largely. And, you know, this is a great realization for me, because I thought that willpower can improve only in those like big moments in life, not these small routines. But I'm learning that in this part of this journey, I'm learning that actually discipline is only made through small and repeated, sometimes boring things that we repeat and repeat and do and do not give up on them. And then they become automatic inside us. And we start to like enjoy them even after a long time that we implemented them. And that's part of us, part of our personality. And when we see the changes in ourselves due to those things, that's the start of enjoying those boring and like not exciting actions. And I'm learning that these repeated things, the way we sleep, the way we start our day, the way we approach it, every single action one after another during the day, after making our bed, for example, they're just going to combine and make a disciplined person, make a very strong person that doesn't let anything slide. And the way we do these small things really matter, because these are the things that we have to do, we must do when no one is watching us, nobody is validating us or giving us a compliment for, but we still have to do it with no excuse. This is all I wanted to share in this episode. Thank you for coming along with me. In the next episode, I will talk about the inner change and the feeling of, being far from our old personality and identity, and also choosing a role model and, you know, handling loneliness throughout this path of growth or change. So I will see you in the next episode. Take care.